All right, the Bumble guy. I don't know if it was a failure or if it was a disappointment because of my expectations. Bottom line is I went on a date. And I used my finding love later in life. A 12-day roadmap to securing a lasting companionship. And it started out pretty good. The Bumble guy met this woman on Facebook Date. I think it's called Date or Dating. And she reached out to me, so that's a good sign. So I responded. And the first thing is I looked at her profile, I read it. I liked what I saw. Her hair, her eyes. She looked very unique. A very unique look. And we communicated right away. We got on FaceTime. That's number one, FaceTime. So FaceTime was a big deal. Okay? Let me get this out of the way. So that was all good. And then I call it a 12-day roadmap. Okay? So we talked FaceTime multiple times over 3 days. So we decided to meet for a brunch on a Saturday. And I really liked her. I mean, I still do. I like the conversation. Very unique background. Divorced, of course. Approximately my age. Conversation was good. We talked a lot about, life. And I think she's really sharp. And then we probably had a 2-hour luncheon. And then I had to split because I had to go pick up my new Apple 17, and I had to get a few accessories in the mall. And so I left it where we looked at each other. I still got to get back to her about was she interested in me or not interested in me. And if I had to predict, I think she likes me also. But she also realizes that I'm very focused. I got a game plan. And I'm moving on from Florida, number one, where she's remaining in Florida. So those are good signs to recognize that, listen, maybe we're just going to be friends. Now, was I attracted to her? Yes, in many ways. Am I looking for this person to be a long-term romantic endeavor? I would say no. However, I could learn a lot from her. And that's kind of what I'm leaning towards, is a friendship, possibly connections. She's got good connections that I might be able to benefit from. And I don't know if that's manipulating, but I think what I have to do is be honest with her. Don't you think? And just say, what did you think? And then I would be honest with her. I actually went on AI, Chat GPT, to ask, how should I handle it? And the consensus was, be honest with her. Am I a little afraid that she wasn't interested in anyway? We haven't talked for 48 hours. I did reach out to her, and there was no response, and I texted her, or she texted me back saying she was out with her friends, and I'm like, okay, and we'll see. My expectations, as I mentioned before, it's going to be a very unique situation, a needle in a haystack. I don't think that the apps are really that good. I've done a lot of lefts, and I'm sure women saw me and went a lot of lefts. Very few. Let me tell you about one on Bumble, and I put it on travel because I'll be traveling in the Midwest. I put it in my profile out there, and Bumble has a traveling alert that you could actually say you're traveling, and then you could meet other people. And as I mentioned in my roadmap, I'm looking for certain people. Well, this one woman responded, and she was younger 60s, never married, red flag. Number 2, a smoker, red flag. Number 3, drinks, which is fine if it's social. But her pictures were showing that I was what I would call lustful, or she was a looker that I liked. She had certain hair and so on that I like. But I could see she was what I would call a biker. Because she had chaps on, she had all this shit on, And then we talked. She wouldn't go on FaceTime, though. She wouldn't go on FaceTime. And to me, I want to get on FaceTime ASAP, that first phone call. Well, we talked a couple times, and she was anxious to talk to me more than once. She had a child when she was very young, a teenager. And in long relationships, never married the father. And then she was in another relationship for 9 years, and that just broke up about 3 years ago. And then she was still working. And the more I calculated that, I thought, well, you know what? If I'm in the Twin Cities, let's just go out and see what happens. Watch a football game. I could see, that she thought I was too aggressive. And I probably am. I probably am. And she kept saying, well, I've never been to Florida. I'm like, oh, okay. I don't know what that meant. Fly her down here or what? I don't know. Either way, I was going to be in the Twin Cities. And, if I have an open evening, go out, see what happens. Well, she started asking me via text now, but we're on mobile line now. And I would say, listen, let's FaceTime. No, we're not going to FaceTime. Then she called me more than once. And then later on, she started asking me my height and my weight, which is no problem. And I asked her what her height and her weight was. And then I predicted her cup size. Yes. I in the same text. Height, weight, cup size. So what? She was showing it in some of her profiles, and I'm like, why not? She's showing it, so I might as well ask. So, anyway, she sends back a text that I'm weird, but she didn't say it was a serious weird. I thought it was a good weird, because I try to be fun. I mean, hey, who's taking life serious at this age? So she started talking about she works nights and she has 2 weeks off of PTO or something. She would meet me some night, while she's open. So I'm like, yeah, cool. So I'm sitting there thinking she's already planning to meet with me. So I thought, okay, that's cool. Let's make this happen, man. I'll be very flexible at night, without seeing my friends and neighbors and stuff while I'm traveling. I'll leave something open to try to get some fun in with a woman, right? So anyway, with that opening, I decided to send her a video. I sent her a video from my iPhone, custom for her, to say, hey, it's not that bad. Here it is. Well, I didn't hear from her for 24 hours. And when I got a call, and I'm thinking, well, I'm seeing other people, this might be an opportunity or not. I don't know. I had no expectations, but I left it as an opportunity. You just never know. And she was cute. She was, in my mind, a looker. A looker, but you don't know for sure. And that's why I wanted to see on the video how she would respond. Guess what her response was? You're weird. Yeah. Weird. Well, I thought that was a good sign. That's how crazy I am, right? It's a good sign. So she goes on Bumble, sends me, we're off of Bumble. To me, once you go on YouTube, once you go on to a mobile or WhatsApp, you don't need Bumble anymore because you could communicate privately, right? So anyway, she leaves a message saying, once again, I'm weird on Bumble. So I said, well, maybe I am weird to her, fun to others. And you got to remember, we're talking about women in their 60s now, okay? So, and they've been crushed by other men. And the way she talked, it sounded like she had a smoking voice. You know what I mean? She had a smoker's voice. And sound like, you know, she had some problems with these ex-boyfriends, physically wise, you know, maybe abusive. I mean, she brought that up, and craziness and cops and stuff like this. And her daughter, same thing, you know. And I'm like, God, you know, all this drama. So anyway, I unmatched on Bumble. I said, fuck it. I'm not going to deal with this woman. Even though it was what I would consider a looker and 10 years younger, you know. So I left it on mobile where she could always get back to me because I could be wrong. I don't expect that. I don't expect her coming back. But you know what? You never know. You never know. Like the proverb says, you never know when people go back to their vomit. And I look at it this way. An ex-spouse, there's a reason why they're an ex-spouse. So you have to go back. It's really hard to go back and miss the loneliness or the activities, but either way, it's over. You know, it's over. So that's my update on YouTube, or on Bumble and Facebook dating. That's an update. So we'll take it from there. You know, that's kind of where I'm at. Is, you know, it's tough out there, man. I think I'm just going to let it expire. I think I'm just going to let it expire. You know? And I think I'm at the point where I think a referral is going to be the deal, or you're going to meet somebody at a coffee shop. But here's my deal. I don't know, and that's the other thing I always ask people. Are you available to date? In other words, are you single? You don't know. I've asked this woman if she was available to date. Is she single? ? Via text. No answer. Never heard from her since. It just goes to show you got to be careful out there, man. And you don't know if somebody's going to shoot you. And I knew the woman in the chaps was either a biker or a smoker, a drinker, been abused. That's bad news for me. I got too much to lose. You don't know what's going to happen. Cop call, whatever. That's why I do everything in public now. And as I mentioned earlier, that luncheon was in a mall, nice restaurant in a mall. You know, you got to keep everything public. And it gives you an escape. Gives you an escape to say, you know what, I'm here to shop too. So I got to go, you know. So, I mean, it's getting tougher and tougher out there. But there's a reason for it. There's a reason for it. I got to be patient. I might, you know, God might bring me the right woman. And it might not be that looker I'm looking for, the lustful. And maybe that's where it's been difficult for me at my age. You know, I'm not looking for trouble. Not at all. You know, so, and you know, how much can you really trust? I mean, I've been catfished, I've been scammed, all that shit. Not only earlier, later, but now I know. The trolls on YouTube, for an example. I see all that shit. So anyway, you know, my little brochure here, it's really not a roadmap. It's not therapy. It's a strategy. It's a strategy. And a strategy is to be implemented and executed. And you have to have a lot of strength and courage to stay the course. Because you can be swayed or manipulated, betrayed. I've been, financially abused. I've been emotionally abused. I've been, what's the other one that would be important? Is spiritually abused. It's really hard. So anyway, today I just want to let you know about the Bumble guy, and what's affected me has been my marriages and my relationships. I'm not a good husband. I know that. I realize that. But I'm a good provider. And that's what's been a problem, And I believe I was a good leader. I'm a person of integrity. But you can't always get that. And I get scared. I get scared that somebody might try to scam me. That's why I don't try to get close to anybody. And that's what the 12 days is about. The 12 days. It's gonna be kind of a heartbreak, because I know it's not gonna move on. I was hopeful. Hopeful is the right word, not expected. Expectations always ruin relationships, as you know. I expected my first wife to be a great mom and a great person, to grow the family. The second wife, same thing. She's religious. I expect her to be the right person, to love me, respect me, admire me, or whatever, just like I would of her. Well, it is all for naught. And what really bothers me now is not only the financial, emotional, and the spiritual, it's the time. 12 years. Look at these people that are thinking about divorce after 30 years, after 40 years. It's terrible, So anyway, I thought I'd just kind of give you an update. And I'm trying to stay on course about the dating as Papa Rock. I'm in my 70s, man. And I'm dating grandmas. And grandmas is going to be the way it is. Okay? That's the way it is, Anybody under 55, it's a no-go for me. You got to have 55. That's experience, that's kids, that's grandparents, that's a job, that's a purpose. That's life, I'm not perfect. No one else is perfect. But let's see what happens, So God bless you guys. Keep your promises. I go from the Bumble guy to divorce strategist, to Papa Rock, to Rock Talk. I mean, this is YouTube, this is TikTok. This is out there. This is what I talk about. But I want you other people that, hey, we're all going through it. Millions of people are going through what I'm going through and you're going through. And loneliness is a big deal, and at the same time, I'm discounting anything toxic. It's really hard. I was in business for 50 years, still am, but I'm picking and choosing what I want to do, and that includes friends, and it all goes back to family. The older I get, the more I gravitate towards my brothers, my sisters, my kids, my grandchildren, my God. Bringing anybody else in it's a whole new school. So it's really down to values. And people don't like to talk about the three that I love to talk about: religion, politics, and finance. People hate that. I put it away. No, you got to talk about it. You got to have an opinion. It's okay. Whatever you say. You've had your life. What's wrong with having a great life and then going out and, like I said with the chap girl, hey, let's go and have a good time. I knew there was no connection. It's definitely physical. Definitely physical, And I would have felt bad after a dinner, maybe. So, I'm wrong. So we'll let that go, okay? So I just thought I'd throw it out there because I talk about life in my 70s and what it's like to be back on the dating scene and looking for a companion. Here it is, a 12-day roadmap to securing a lasting companionship, finding love later in life. I'm just trying to find lust right now, one thing at a time. Okay? God bless you guys. Keep your promises. I'll be back. Talk to you soon.